Hello everyone. In this video, I would like to tell you something about SMTP DANE protocol in Office 365, especially about inbound SMTP DANE protocol in Office 365. SMTP DANE is an advanced protection for Exchange Online or in general for your emails because it verifies that the mail server that you are communicating with is actually the mail server that you should be communicating with. Because by default, if there is some man in the middle changing DNS records or manipulating with DNS records or manipulating with the connectivity itself, your connection might be redirected to a different mail server and then your outbound emails would be sent to a different recipient. That's the reason why we have this inbound and unbound SMTP DANE. The prerequisite of SMTP DANE is DNSSEC, so the domain must be signed with DNSSEC before SMTP DANE can be configured. Outbound SMTP DANE simply protects your outgoing emails. So when you are sending emails to external recipients, outbound SMTP DANE checks that if the recipient mail server has inbound SMTP DANE configured properly with the TLSA record configured in the domain, and if so, then your mail server, which means Office 365 in this case, checks that really the recipient mail server is the mail server that it should be communicating with. Inbound SMTP DANE works the other way around. So you configure your mail server, in this case Exchange Online, to publish the TLSA record to DNS. So when you configure inbound SMTP DANE for your domain, it means that Exchange Online publishes TLSA record for the MX record that you use in your domain name records, which means that external mail servers that are communicating with your users will be able to verify that they are really communicating with Exchange Online that you configured. Outbound SMTP DANE is enabled by default since March 2022. It was enabled by Microsoft. It's enabled automatically by default. You don't need to do anything about it. So your outgoing emails are protected if the recipient's mail server has configured SMTP DANE on their side. If you want to enable inbound SMTP DANE, there is a manual steps required. So you need to do something. And that's the purpose of this video, because I would like to show you how to configure inbound SMTP DANE for your domain. Like I said, there is a prerequisite of DNSSEC. So if your domain is not enabled with DNSSEC, you first need to enable DNSSEC on your domain. The enablement of DNSSEC can take quite some time. It usually takes around 24 hours. So you really need to do it beforehand, before you start configuring SMTP DANE for your domain. You can verify if your domain is signed with DNSSEC, for instance on Verify or VeriSign Labs, or there are other tools that can verify if the domain is signed with DNSSEC or not. So make sure before you start configuring it that your domain is activated or signed with DNSSEC, because it is a prerequisite. When you have this verified, you can start configuring inbound SMTP DANE for your domain. The first thing that you should do is you need to connect to Exchange Online via PowerShell, because at the moment there is no way how you can configure inbound SMTP DANE from the admin interface. So there is no wizard in admin Exchange Online or admin Microsoft 365. It needs to be done via PowerShell. So we first need to connect to Exchange Online via PowerShell. So we type connect.-exchange online. I authenticate on the background with my global admin credentials for the tenant. Takes a moment. All right, now I'm connected. The first thing we need to do is we need to enable DNSSEC for verified domain in Exchange Online. It's not related to DNSSEC of your domain. It's not related to the DNSSEC record that you create for your own domain. This is DNSSEC for the Exchange Online mail exchange record, so the MX record that you configure for your domain. So there is one simple PowerShell command that we need to execute. It's called enable-DNSSEC for verified domain. And then you specify the domain that you want to enable DNSSEC for. This domain needs to be verified. So it cannot be in any unverified state. It cannot be in the pending state or any other state. It needs to be verified that you own this domain. So we hit enter. And again, wait one moment. And now you can see that it generated a new MX record for your domain. Because the default record, or the record that you at the moment use, is something.mail.protection.outlook.com. So in my case, it was cswrld-com.mail.protection.outlook.com. This was the old record. New records are on the mx.microsoft domain. The reason for that is that the old domain, mailprotectionoutlook.com, was not signed with DNSSEC. This new domain that Microsoft acquired, mx.microsoft, so Microsoft now has its own first-class domain, first-level domain, .microsoft. So this new MX record, mx.microsoft, is signed with DNSSEC. Now, when you go to the admin center and go to admin.microsoft.com, expand settings, and go to domains, you will see this new record also from there. So this new record replaces your old mail.protection.outlook.com domain. So this will be in your new MX record from now on. Now, because you have a new MX record, it's very important to modify MTA-STS if you use MTA-STS for your domain. Because the MTA-STS record, or the text file that's behind this record, defines or specifies the MX record of your mail server, which now is probably mail.protection.outlook.com. Probably the wildcard domain, because that's also what's in Microsoft's documentation. And you need to add one new MX record, which is this new MX record that was just created or generated for you. So then there will be two MX records specified in the MTA-STS file. The old one, mail.protection.outlook.com, and this new one that you just generated via this enable DNSSEC for verified domain PowerShell command. So two MX records will be in MTA-STS. The reason for that is because the next step is to change MX records. But if your new MX record points to a different mail server than is specified in MTA-STS, it means that you will not receive any emails. Because the sending mail servers, if they check MTA-STS, they will not send emails to a different mail server that is not specified in the MTA-STS record, which is the reason why you need to add this new MX record to the MTA-STS file as well. So now you have modified the MTA-STS file. Just double check that it is actually published, because maybe there is some caching. So really load it in your web browser and double check that the MTA-STS record is modified, and it includes both MX records, so the old one and also the new one. When you have this verified, you can go ahead and change your MX record. So go to the DNS management console that you use, where is your domain located at or managed at, and change the MX record from the old mail.protection.outlook.com domain to this new one that was generated by this PowerShell command. Then you need to wait until the change is really replicated in the global DNS. If you want to speed it up, you can change the TTL record or TTL information so that it's changed faster, because usually I see TTL 24 hours, for example, which means that DNS resolvers cache the DNS records for 24 hours. You can change it to 10 minutes, for example, to speed it up. But again, before you proceed, you need to make sure that the new MX record is published and is available from the internet. When you have this verified, you can go ahead and enable SMTP DANE inbound. There is another PowerShell command that you execute. Oh, not this one. This one. Enable-SMTP DANE inbound, and again you specify the domain that you want to enable it for. You hit enter, wait a moment, and it again should give you result success, which means that it's been successfully enabled. It may take about 15 minutes to publish it globally, because now Microsoft is publishing the TLSA record, so it may take some time, but you can easily verify it. If you go to testconnectivity.microsoft.com, you can verify DNSSEC and DANE validation. So I just put CSR. I just put my domain here. I need to fill in the CAPTCHA form as well. Let's refresh it. All right. Now it's verifying TLSA, DNSSEC, and DANE for my domain. I see all greens, all fields are green, which means that it's successful. I can expand it. I see the new MX record configured for my domain. Again, green for DNSSEC, green for TLSA, green for DANE, and I also see the TLSA records here. So everything is working, everything is configured properly, which is amazing. So now I'm ready to change the MTA-STS file again. Now I can remove, or I should actually remove, the old MX record from the MTA-STS file, so that the MTA-STS file contains only the new MX record. I've already done that, and this is the MTA-STS file that you can see for my domain. So if I refresh it, version STS1, mode enforced, and the MX record is only the new MX record, the old one is gone. So this is it. Now you have successfully enabled inbound SMTP DANE protocol for your domain, which means that your domain, your emails are again a little better protected. I hope you liked the video. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, feel free to contact me directly or leave a comment underneath the video. Other than that, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, on LinkedIn, Mastodon, Blue Sky, or Threads. And that's really all from my side for today. Thanks for watching and see you next time.